Blessings, you are tuned in to Throwback Talk with V. Fox, and I am V. Fox, your School of the Legends team correspondent for the Washington Redskins. Well, it's week 9 in the NFL season, and the Washington Redskins, 3-4, set to face off against the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, the 6-1 San Francisco 49ers. These guys have been playing good ball, and I want to do something a little different this week on Throwback Talk. I'm going to be sitting down with 49er Mike. I've known Mike for almost 20 years of my life, and there are a few things I know about this guy. For one, he's a great debater. The next thing about him, he loves the game of football. But lastly, he is a true San Francisco 49er fanatic. So I'm going to sit down with Mike. We're going to break this thing down, and we're going to debate. I'm going to do the best that I can, and I'm going to present him a challenge. So we'll see how this works out. All right, Mike, so first and foremost, I want to thank you for spending time with us on Throwback Talk today. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. I've known you a long time, and one thing I know about you, you've always liked the 49ers. You were around for the Gold Rush days, John Taylor, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Steve Young, all the late and greats. So I want to know this. You guys got off to a good start so far. You're 6-1, but how you going to convince me that you guys are the real deal and that you're not just going to fizzle out like you've done the last maybe 10 years?
Well, I think there are several factors that go into determining whether a team's record is real or if it's just full of air. And I think the fact that the 49ers have the #1 rated defense, scoring defense, and they're #1 against the run, combine that with an offense that runs the ball and does not commit turnovers, I mean, that's a recipe for success.
Okay, well, you guys have done very well on the defensive side of the ball, and your offense has looked pretty good. But I'm not sold on Alex Smith. This guy is like the Joker, the Jack in the Box. You know, one minute he's popped out of the box, he's your starting quarterback. The next minute, the coaches are sitting him down. What's different about this year where you really believe that he can lead you an entire season?
Well, I think the difference in Alex Smith this year is this is the first year he's had an offensive coach as his head coach. Every year up into his career, it's been a defensive coach that's been the head coach making the decisions. Jim Harbaugh has played quarterback in this league before. He is able to identify what Alex Smith's strengths and weaknesses are, and he plays to that. Alex Smith is not making the big mistake like he has in the past. And if you notice, Alex Smith's quarterback rating in the fourth quarter is 3rd in the NFL. So in the crunch time when it matters the most, Alex Smith is moving the Niners down the field, and he's not making a big mistake.
Okay, you make a good point there. I told you this guy can debate. But let me ask you this then. Frank Gore, he is the stud on your offense. When you think of the San Francisco 49ers offense, you think of Frank Gore. But this guy has a rough time staying healthy. And we got some big hitters on the other side of the Washington Redskins. Our defensive line, for one, Alex Smith won't be able to stand back there and just pick people apart like he's been able to do throughout this season. I mean, we got Arakpo, we got Kerrigan, we got Carricker. We got some guys on that front end, some young puppies that are willing to come out, pin their ears back, and get after him. But I want to know this. With Alex Smith back there having to rely on his feet probably a little bit more than usual, and Frank Gore, he's your stud. I want to know, how do you think that this guy, do you think he can make it through an entire season, that he'll stay healthy, that he'll be that horse that you guys need him to be? Because, frankly, you guys run him to death. And how you going to do that? You know, we got some bangers on the backside with the Washington Redskins. So what you thinking coming in this week?
Well, I'm thinking, I mean, you know, Frank Gore has shown that he, you know, is a little injury prone in the past. But he has a little bit of help in his stable mates in the running back. You know, you got Kendall Hunter, the rookie out of Oklahoma State. You got Anthony Dixon, second-year pro out of Mississippi State. Those guys are helping him run the ball. As you can see, Jim Harbaugh is really good at X and O'ing. You know, whatever the weakness is of the defense, he's going to find it. If you noticed in film last week, we had an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman catch a pass in the game. So he's going to find ways to find the weak point, and that's what we're going to exploit. That's the thing I like about it, Jim Harbaugh. He's gonna find the weak point in the defense, and we're gonna go at it until we stop it, until you can stop it.
Okay. What's going on with your receivers? I mean, you guys have a pretty efficient offense, but I got to tell you, I got to stand up for my man with the Washington Redskins, a young guy at tight end, Fred Davis. This guy has over 500 yards receiving, and frankly, that's almost more than your top two receivers in Vernon Davis and Michael Crabtree. So what's going on there? Because they don't scare us, frankly.
Well, with that, I think the record speaks for itself. The Niners are 6-1 with, the receivers not having the stats that you would typically like a receiver to have. We're able to run the ball, and we pass it when it's necessary. And we're efficient in passing it when it's necessary. You can have all the stats in the world, but at the end of the day, it's the W's and the L's that matter. So Jim Harbaugh is calling the game close to his vest, and he's doing what we need to do to win the game. I mean, the strength of the 49ers is the run game. So we're going to run the ball, and we're going to pass when we have to.
Okay, so what if we shut down your run? Then what are you going to go to? Because, and by the way, where is Braylon Edwards? Is this guy a ghost or?
Braylon Edwards played last week. He's been out with some leg injury, but he played last week. He's getting back into shape. The thing that I think is key is that, no team runs the traditional West Coast offense in the league, but it's a variation of the West Coast offense, and the key to that is getting the ball out quick. So with the Redskins pass rush can be stifled a little bit because we're getting the ball out quick when we do have to throw it. Braylon Edwards is still a good receiver in this league. Michael Crabtree is still learning the game. Ted Ginn, he'll take the top off of that defense with his speed. So you got to respect all that. You got Vernon Davis.
We got some speedsters on the back end with the Redskins as well. I mean,
but that's the thing is that you have to respect that speed. Someone's going to have to go with him, and when they go with him, that opens up the defense, and that opens up those throwing lanes for Alex Smith, for Michael Crabtree, Braylon Edwards, Vernon Davis to work the middle of the field. When you got Ted Ginn with 4.3, high 4.2 speed streaking down the field. So, and then when you got that mixed with Frank Gore in the backfield that you got to account for, I mean, it's just a great blend of talent for the 49ers offense.
Okay, I'll say this, and I know you're not a big stat guy. It's obvious. We're going to go with the record, I guess. But the last time you guys faced off against the Redskins, and it's been a little bit, it was in 2005, but you guys lost 52-17. And as a matter of fact, it's not an easy win in FedEx. The guys are 2-1 this year. So what do you think you guys can bring to the table by coming in and trying to face off? I mean, I don't know. Have you ever been to FedEx?
No, I haven't.
It is a tremendous experience, and the fans are serious. So it's not going to be an easy win. I just want to let you know that right off. What we're going to do right now is we're just going to take a moment, and we're going to interject with the throwback item of the week, and then I'll be right back with 49er Mike. As you can see, the throwback item for this week, as a matter of fact, the entire month of November will be dedicated to the remembrance of Sean Taylor, a great player, a great teammate, but most of all, a great man. November 27th, 2007, a day that all of us would like to forget, was a day that we lost a great person. And here's the first item. Here's the official 21 towel, the towel that was given out to all the fans and teammates and everyone that loved Sean Taylor on the Sunday after we lost him. I want to show you guys this. This is something special, and you can look forward to more items throughout the month of November. We're back, Throwback Talk with V Fox, and I'm sitting here with 49er Mike, and we're discussing the upcoming game on Sunday. So Mike, let me ask you this. Your defense, the San Francisco 49ers, versus our defense, the Washington Redskins. I want to give you a little challenge real quick. You let me know what you think about this one. Your best linebacker, Patrick Willis, versus our best linebacker, Iron Man, legend, London Fletcher. How do you see that?
Well, it's no stark statement to say that Patrick Willis has surpassed Ray Lewis as the #1 inside linebacker of this league. So, Patrick Willis, ever since his rookie year, Pro Bowl every single year. He's one of the league-leading tacklers every single year in this league. Ran a 4.38 coming out of college. Sideline to sideline.
I thought you don't do stats.
It's all in there, man.
It's all in there,
It's
huh?
all in there.
Well, then let's talk about London because, man, I've been really paying attention to this guy. As a matter of fact, I spoke about it in the Monday wrap-up. Played a tremendous game last week versus the Buffalo Bills. It was in a losing effort, but went out, played with an injured hamstring, had 19 tackles, a half sack, an interception. This guy is really an Iron Man, someone that I love playing with, a great leader. And I was looking and I saw something that said that he's had over 100 tackles in probably like his last 8 or 9 seasons. So to me, that's tremendous. And I got to give it to Patrick Willis. The guy really is a stud and someone we'll definitely have to account for throughout this game. Now, Carlos Rogers coming back to FedEx. Spent a lot of time there. I was reading earlier this week, and Mike Shanahan said if he would have had a little more solid season last year, that they would have signed him to a long-term deal. Now, how do you think that he'll fare in this game coming back and playing against his old buddies?
I think it's big. You know, as a player, your mindset is, you know, if you feel rejected or you feel like you were cast away too soon or treated unfairly in a particular place, you want to go back there and have a big game. So I'm expecting a big game from Carlos Rogers. He's tied for 3rd in the league with interceptions, so he's having a good season. I know he had some trouble in Washington holding on to the ball. He had an opportunity, had a lot of picks, but he seems to be holding on to the ball this year. The defense is playing with great confidence, and when you got a confident defense, you take more chances because you know the guys behind you got your back. So I'm expecting Carlos Rogers to have a big game this week in his former stomping grounds.
Well, Los, man, it's good to see that you're having a successful season, man. I'm happy for you that you're doing well, but you are in enemy territory this week, and we cannot see you as a friend, but as a foe. So we'll see how this thing plays out with Carlos Rogers. Now, lastly, I'll let you get away, man, and do what you do, 49er Mike or whatever, all of that stuff. But I just want to know, your defense has been playing very well. Our defense has been a little inconsistent in the past couple of weeks, but we've started out doing things great. I made mention of the guys that we have up front, and those guys have been sack machines. Our defense is ranked in the top 10 in a lot of areas. Your defense obviously ranked in the top 5, but I just want to know, what do you think this game will come down to? You know, will it be a defensive struggle? Do you think it'll just be, I mean, let me get this straight. I already understand we're struggling on offense and we're finding our identity. This is an entire new team. I mean, we've lost 3 guys that have been extremely important to the offensive scheme with Santana Moss, Chris Cooley, and Tim Hightower. And we're trying to find our way, patch up our offensive line. But how do you think this game will play out, and what will be the deciding factor in who wins on Sunday?
Well, coming into this game, and I believe the Redskins do have a good defense. I think the game plan will be to get after John Beck and just put pressure on him. I believe that with the 49ers being able to get off to a fast start in that hostile environment is important. I think that the running game, getting that going early will be key. I think if we're able to get that game early, I don't think the game will be close. I think that with the strength of our defense, with the uneven play at quarterback for the Redskins, us applying pressure to the quarterback, I believe Santana Moss might be out of this game. Fred Davis is a little gimpy. You got running backs in there that weren't tasked at the beginning of the year to be the starter. The offense is pretty hobbled coming against what I think is one of the best defenses in the league. I would not be surprised if it's another, score similar to the Niners versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers 48-3 debacle a couple weeks ago.
Do you hear this guy? Well, Mike, we're just going to have to agree to disagree. But lastly, before we shut it down, I got a challenge for you. Now, if the Redskins win this game, this is what I want to see out of you. I want to see you sitting with your son with a youth Redskins jersey on, and I want to see you guys give us a good hail to the Redskins that I can play on Monday wrap-up. Now, on the contrary, if for some unforeseen act of God happens and the Redskins lose the game, I will perform Monday wrap-up in that jersey. We got a deal?
Deal.
All righty. Big Mike, I want to thank you for your time and sitting down with us on Throwback Talk. It'll be an interesting game. We'll see how it goes. Hail to the Skins. Catch me every week for pregame and postgame analysis and everything in between. God bless.